Greetings and salutations, everyone. It's time for another episode of Viewport Relay, a bi-weekly podcast where the Viewport team looks at the latest news in the gaming industry. As always, I'm your host, Albert Corson, joined by Tristan John.
Hello.
And Alex Nestor.
Hey.
Episode 67. That's a good number. I think I say that about every episode, but you know what?
Yeah, all
Every
numbers are good.
number.
And we're climbing up there. We're getting up in the numbers.
You're just trying to be inclusive. Every number's a good number.
Mm-hmm.
How far is climbing up the numbers? There's an infinite number of them. When can you say that you've climbed them to a good extent?
Yeah, I don't know, because, like, One Piece, they're over, 1,000 episodes, God. So, we got a ways to go on that front.
I think if we do bi-weekly and we get to episode 1,000, we actually just might be dead.
We might be dead.
At that point, yeah, I think the math checks out.
But we'd be climbing.
Yeah, our numbers would be climbing to the moon.
To the moon.
I think the what this is bringing up is we need a succession plan. Our children must carry on our legacy.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're saying
ancestors.
I can choose an understudy?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
a protege.
Oh my! Next episode, my understudy will be here.
Oh man, that could be a whole series of the podcast. Whoa!
It's like a stunt double. Some episodes they'll be here, some episodes they won't. You won't even notice. That's how good they'll be.
Yep. Albert Corsten is just a title at this point.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's
past.
Podcast host.
Yeah. It's completely ephemeral, not actually physical.
Names are a construct, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's hop into our favorite segment of the opening of the podcast, which is what have you been playing?
Mm-hmm.
And spoiler alert, not spoiler alert, but context, Tristan is begging to talk now. He prepares for this segment, all right? He probably prepares more for this segment than I prepare for the podcast.
I don't know if this segment defines me or I define the segment at this point. I feel like I'm too deep in. I need to bring a new game to this segment every episode.
Mm-hmm.
You're more deep than when you were the Twitter correspondent on the show.
That's true.
That's how deep you are.
How about I go last?
Yeah,
okay.
I think that would work well, because I've really been as shallow as possible probably this week in terms of playing anything new. Other than my main stable of games, I've been dabbling back actually into Yakuza 7, or Yakuza Like a Dragon. So finally making a lot more progress in that game, because I'm just surprised by how long this one is in terms of
Did you play that game for 8 hours in one day? Because I swear you posted in Discord about it at 2 p.m. And
I did, yes.
That was
this last Saturday or so, and I was
yeah.
Holy moly, I've played this game for 8 hours and I've made one chapter's worth of progress.
Oh my god.
How long is this game? I don't know yet. I still not looked it up, so I'm really enjoying the story. A lot of the side content's actually grabbing me a lot better than the previous titles too. I've been doing a lot of the so you have this thing where you're trying to get shares to increase for a company that you have. A Senbei shop.
GameStop? Oh.
Basically, it is GameStop, where you're trying to make the stocks bigger so your shareholders are happy and more investors come in.
Wow.
Did you post on Wall Street Bets? I'm sure your Segway shop would get real big.
If the game came out a little later, maybe they would have had a Yokohama equivalent to Wall Street Bets, but, So yeah, that's been a fun mini game to play. And then, just other things in the game. I just love the lighthearted feel, too. It's a nice, easygoing game. Light tone and, lots of hope and all that things. Stuff I love.
Lots of hope. Oh, very wholesome.
It is a very wholesome title, yeah. I like that a lot about this current one, especially.
Can you say that about real life Yakuza? Very wholesome people.
Maybe not so wholesome. Sometimes they have the right intentions, but then they have a lot of other ulterior motives for why they do it, so,
It's true.
That's a whole nother can of eggs right there.
Can of eggs?
Yeah, I don't know. I just create phrases.
You put eggs in a can.
Hey, they put chicken in a can, so why not put the egg in the can?
That's true. I've seen canned burgers on YouTube before, and that's...
Yeah. Do not look up canned chicken. That is something from an alien environment, I think.
How about canned eggs, though? Anyways, we won't delve into canned eggs. We'll leave that for a podcast that talks about canned food.
Mm-hmm.
Write that down as an idea for the future. once episode 1000 comes out and we retire this podcast.
Okay, so that's all I've really been touching on the side. So what do you got, Albert? What have you been playing?
I was on the grind the past couple weeks because I was finally finishing leveling all my jobs to max level in Final Fantasy 14. But I finished that. But I did pick up two things. I picked up Bravely Default 2.
Mm-hmm. Not to be confused with Bravely Second.
Yep. I don't know why they named it that, but whatever. I've only played like an hour of it, so I'm not too far. But I did, because I had some friends over, I picked up...
Whoa. During quarantine?
They're vaccinated. It's all good.
Oh, okay.
But I picked up Super Mario 3D. I double dipped on Super Mario 3D World.
Oh, Cat Mario, bringing them in.
I played Cat Mario, but I don't know why I haven't, but I wanted to play Bowser's Fury. Yeah. So I'll probably play that, by the next episode.
I watched some of it. It looks pretty cool. I like the level design they went with for that. So I think you'll enjoy it.
I hope so. I don't know if I'll go through the 100% I did from the original, the normal game.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of 100%ing to do if you go down that route for that game.
I didn't even true 100% it, because, it's 100% if, you beat every level and you get to the top of the flagpole and you get, all the stamps and all the stickers and all the green stars. But then there's the true 100% where you have to do it as every single character. And it's nobody wants to play Toad. Except for Tristan, maybe.
Or Slippery Ouija?
Oh. In a catsuit. Anyways, that's mainly what I've been playing. I reluctantly... Do I need to put a timer on you, or are you...
I want to hear his thoughts on this stuff, because I've been watching the games that he's played. Now I want to hear from a man himself.
I'll self-moderate. Don't worry about it. I can see a timer. Okay.
Take it away.
So, what have I been playing? I could do like a 180 gotcha and just talk about League for 20 minutes.
I will cut you off.
Night Shyamalan does.
Yeah. This is like in the Senate where they're like, I relinquish the rest of my time. Yeah. You don't even. I will take it from you.
Tristan's about to filibuster us right here.
Filibustering until the hour mark. We're gonna end the recording right then. Okay. So I did play a little bit of League because it was Clash weekend. One of our teams got second place. The other team got fifth place. Just want to put that out there. Great job, team. Let's try again. They made Clash bi-weekly now, every 2 weeks. So I don't know how much time
it used to be.
It used to be every month or every 2 months.
Oh, wow.
So, it's a little bit crazy now. Anyways, that's an aside. The two main games I've been playing. One called The Perfect Tower 2. The other called Loop Hero. I'm going to start with Perfect Tower 2 because I don't think many people care about that.
Yeah, it's a lot lesser known.
It's a idle game, an incremental game. Kind of based on tower defense. Basically, you have this tower that you need to upgrade and you want to progress as much as possible. Just came out on early access. It's free on Steam. I think the coolest part about it, and my background as a incremental game specialist, I've played Realm Grinder, Cookie Clicker, Paperclip, name it. I've probably played it because I have nothing better to do with my life. But
but you don't need to play it. That's the thing.
I don't need to play. I just keep an eye on it. I just manage it, if you will.
It's idle games are the games for the working man. Okay,
that's true. So this one's really fun because there's a lot of different strategies you can incorporate. It's not just clicking or not just waiting for things to happen. And there's very specific objectives in the game rather than just getting to the highest number. So I would encourage you to check it out. I'm not shilling. They're not paying me anything. They have a pretty...
What do you, is it, you just upgrade your tower?
You just upgrade your tower and kill as many enemies as possible.
Can you lose?
No, not, I mean, you can die at a certain wave, but then you go back and upgrade your tower so you can progress more.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's little other mini games and things you can do as well, which keeps it very, not as monotonous as compared to other idle games.
Are you into the math phase of the idle games yet, where it's just I could do this and make 0.005 faster, but then if I apply this multiplier, I will get... Is it like that?
That's basically what's going on. I'm in the Discord server asking what's the best strategy, what's best in slot, and all this stuff.
No.
Yeah, I know.
You're cheating. You gotta figure that out on your own, man.
I mean, it's a new game, so it's like a collaborative effort, if you will. And there's also like an in-game script editor, so you can actually automate the tasks. It's like insane.
It's Factorio. Man.
It's kind of like Factorio.
No.
Mm-hmm. So that's that. But the other big game that I've been playing, Loop Hero. Everyone's been going crazy for Loop Hero. I'll pause here in case you guys have been seeing streamers or friends play.
Yeah, I've been watching a fair bit of this, and I've been slowly picking it up, but I found as a viewer, it's kind of hard to understand what's going on, even if the streamer's like explaining what's supposed to be happening as he places tiles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And all these like adjacency bonuses and stuff. There's a lot going on, it seems, in that game.
How fast can you pick it up, Tristan? Because I wanted to pick it up, but I watched Easy Allies play for like 3 minutes, and I had no idea what was happening, so I just left. And I was like, this game's too complicated.
How do you define pick it up?
What is it first? I see like 5 genres. It's like tower defense, card game, idle, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it's like it's definitely a roguelike at its core.
Mm-hmm. Roguelike and idle, I think, are its strongest aspects. I don't know if you agree with that.
Can you lose?
Yes.
Although there's an active aspect to it, so I don't know.
So
it's hard to...
I would say in terms of, it's definitely a combination of different genres. If I were to go in like how prevalent it is in the game in order, at the core, it's a roguelike game. Then it's a reverse tower defense. Then it's a deck builder. Then it's an idle game.
Okay.
It's like all 4 of those combined, but I think at its core, it's a roguelike.
Okay.
And let me explain how
a quick question before. Is there like can you win the game or does it just keep going?
No, you can win the game. There's like different campaigns.
Okay.
So there's like 2 components to playing this game. One is the actual roguelike progression system, and how that is manifested in this game is through like building your base. So you build different buildings, and each building gives you little upgrades or like more cards to play in your deck. Does that?
Oh, this is hooking me already. Yeah. Oh man,
right.
Did you ever random tangent? Mm-hmm. Battleforge, I think is what it was called.
I don't think so.
It was that old EA game from like 10 years ago where it was an RTS game, card game, but you played units. Like you played card to summon units onto the battlefield.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh?
But it was like RTS, right?
I
so it
see.
wasn't like a card game, right? Mm-hmm. So like, let's say you have like, a foot soldier card, you play that and it summons like a squad of foot soldiers and then you can move them around the RTS. But this is where it's like getting, you can build your base and you can get like stronger card units. And
I see.
I don't know. Go ahead, sorry.
So anyways, you base progression, get cards for your deck, and then you choose an expedition to play, which are like different missions. And each mission has different conditions, like, maybe the enemies get stronger faster, there's like item drops, et cetera, et cetera. And then you start the actual kind of gameplay section, which how it works is it generates like a loop. Therefore, the loop part of Loop Hero. And
when does Hero come? When does Hero come in? We got Loop.
Well, you play as a hero, and there's like different classes you can play as well. I think there's 3, and each of them has their pros and cons. But every tile on the loop, when you start with, has a chance to spawn enemies. And basically what happens is every time you go around a loop, so you start at your town, and every time you pass your town again, the enemies level up by 1. So the enemies just keep getting stronger and stronger as you move through this loop. So the idle part of the game is that the movement and the battles that you do are all automated. So you'll automatically walk around the loop. If you run into an enemy, you're going to automatically do a battle with them. And every time you kill an enemy, you get cards from your deck. And the cards represent things you can add to the map. Sometimes they're like mountains. Sometimes they spawn enemies. Sometimes they give you upgrades. And all of it are timed based on when you're moving through the loop. Does that make sense?
This is like Nexus Wars almost.
Yeah.
Or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. So there's like a day and night cycle as well, which is independent of the loop, which makes it very confusing. But like every time it hits nighttime, like enemies spawn, like a mountain, for instance, upgrades your HP. A meadow card, every time you go through the town, heals you. So like there's like
so
2
you
ticks.
upgrade the loop.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's that. And every time you put down a card, you play a card, there's a meter that fills up. And as soon as the meter is completely filled, it spawns the boss for that expedition. And then basically it turns into you either kill the boss and you win, or you die and then you lose. So, and of course you can die to enemies in the middle as well. So that's kind of the roguelike part as well. And the actual progression resources are every time you kill enemies or put down a card, you pick up different types of resources to build your buildings or upgrade them. But if you die, you lose 70% of it.
So successful runs are obviously the way to go.
Yes.
Yeah, to let you progress faster. Yep.
And at any time, every time you stop by your town, you can choose to quit and, take all the resources that you've built up. Or you can quit in the middle of the loop, but you'll also lose 70%. So I usually just prefer to die if I feel like I'm not going to make it back to town.
How many loops does a traditional PAT campaign go through?
So that's the fun part of this game. When I first started playing, I just started putting cards down as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. But that actually makes it harder because, like I said, some cards spawn enemies. So every time you go through a loop, it spawns a shitload of enemies and you end up just dying. So I think the core mechanic of this game is the trade-off aspect of, do I build the loop really quickly to get to the boss really fast? Or do I prolong getting to the boss so I can get really, really strong? But also the boss gets stronger the longer you're in the loop.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Risk of Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, do I go... Because that's the loop mechanic too, right?
Yep.
You can start back at the start.
Yep.
Where it's, do I fight the final boss? Or do I keep testing my luck and... the boss gets stronger as time goes on.
Right.
Or do I think I can pick up more artifacts that can get me stronger?
Yep.
Versus how strong the boss gets. Okay, so
it's
now
very
that's
similar.
kind of okay.
And the items that the enemies drop also depend on their level. So the longer you stay in the loop, the stronger items that you'll get. But the items are also randomized. They have different stats and abilities. So depending on what class you're playing, you want to, start maxing out in one stat or the other.
I'm gonna say I'm picking up this game right after this podcast.
It's a huge value. It's like $12 right now.
How long
Steam.
is it though? That's what I'm wondering.
It's actually substantially more than I think it initially looks like.
I think
when you go, go ahead, Tristan.
I think there's 4 expeditions. I've spent 12 hours. I've beaten 1 expedition. Because, like I said, the roguelike progression system comes from building out your base. And there's a bit of a grind to it. And you can also upgrade your buildings. So there's a lot of back and forth.
It sounds like you don't really go for leaving a loop early, right?
Yeah. And if I end up dying, then I lose so much of my resources.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so it becomes an interesting balancing act of getting the enemies leveled up enough to where you're getting really good drops and items, but also not getting so dead that you can't beat the boss anymore.
Is this early access or is it a fully launched game?
I'm
looking right now. It looks like it's fully launched.
Yeah, I believe it's a fully launched game.
I think it might have been in early access, but now it's fully launched. Man, now this is a game where it's just keep adding new campaigns or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they could definitely build a lot into it if they wanted to.
All right. It's overwhelmingly positive on Steam.
It's really good. It's really fun.
It's also got a lot of banger music too. It reminds me of the Pokemon Gold Silver era, kind of Game Boy Color kind of soundtracks.
Goodbye, I hardly ever knew you, Bravely Default 2.
Anyways, that's what I've been playing. I kept it within time limit.
Look forward to the bite-size review. Or are you going to beat it before you do the bite-size review, or do you think you have enough?
Nah, I feel like I have enough. I feel like as I go through the more further expeditions, there's a lot of base building. I guess something I miss is some cards have interactions with each other if they're if you put them adjacent and stuff.
Yeah, so synergies and all that. Yep.
There's a lot of SimCity. That's what it's called in StarCraft. Planning out your base and your map.
Your tower defense, man. It's tower defense.
Yeah.
You gotta make the maze.
Mm-hmm.
Or something. I don't know. All right. You sold 1 copy. Where's your commission?
I'll have to follow up with the Devolver afterwards.
That's right, it's Devolver.
Hit up their president, whose name is escaping me.
Anything else, Tristan?
No, if I played another game, I don't think I would have to like stop working. Basically these two have been taking up a lot of my time.
Do it. Well, I mean, the other idle game you don't have to focus on as much, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's kind of a set and forget kind of deal.
Alrighty. Let's get to the news. I've been very happy the past couple episodes because rather than cramming everything into one news week and then leaving us bone dry for like 2 months with no news, they've been splitting up the news. So last time we had a Nintendo Direct. This time we got a State of Play. So we'll dig into the Feb 2021 State of Play. Let's see. We'll start with Deathloop first. We got some more news on Deathloop. I'm gonna clear my throat. Tristan, I know you're excited for this game.
Yes, sir.
Did you see they had 2 trailers. They did the Deja Vu one from the actual event, and then they finally released like the explained trailer.
Yeah. Oh my god. I like amped up my excitement so much. Cause I was in the middle of playing Hitman, right? And I was like, this is Hitman in first person. This is gonna be, and with guns and ability, well, I mean, I guess.
And a loop.
And a loop.
Yeah, this is another loop game. The second loop type game.
Yeah, 2021 trend is loop.
The year of loops. No, I am like super hyped on the game now.
Yeah, I'm with Tristan now. The Deja Vu trailer really sold me on the whole concept of the game. And then, yeah, the explanation trailer, I guess as it's called, really cleared up a lot of what they're going for. And yeah, I'm sold on it. It looks really, really fun as a shooter game. Like a FPS single-player game that might actually be really entertaining to play.
If they do multiplayer with this game, which I think they said they are, I'm very interested to see what it's going to be.
Yeah, they could do some interesting concepts if they do like almost like a Merc versus Spy kind of deal, like the old Splinter Cell games. They could maybe do something like that. That would be pretty cool. If you have like spies in a party or something, and then you have mercs trying to hunt them down.
Like Arcane has done some like crazy game modes for Prey, so like they're not afraid to like do weird stuff with like weird modes and things like that.
Yeah.
Just a shooter with just the abilities, I think would be really fun.
Yeah. This is a huge thing. Is that this is really Dishonored, except it doesn't really penalize you for killing anybody, whereas Dishonored usually will penalize you if you kill the wrong people. This one, it just lets you go crazy with your abilities and, go wild.
Maybe that's some feedback they got. They were like, hey, we built this awesome, Yeah,
you're this awesome killer assassin, but you're not actually supposed to assassinate most people in the game.
It's like, if you want the good ending, don't hurt anyone. It's like, what? Right? And now they're just like, go wild.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, right.
I just love the style, and yeah, the Deja Vu trailer music was like Bond-esque, and yeah, I was in love with it. Very good presentation.
If it's really good, I think this has potential to. They can just keep adding islands, which is like the most interesting part.
I feel like it would be a sequel, maybe like Deathloop 2. I don't know if they would DLC it. They might though, because Prey had a huge DLC for it.
Yep, the moon base.
Yeah, the moon base stuff. So
yeah,
second island.
They could do a lot with this kind of concept. It'd be exactly like Tristan said. It'd be a lot like the Hitman series, where they could just create big levels and have a set of targets that you're supposed to eliminate. And it's up to you to figure out how you're going to do it in one loop.
Honestly, DLC could just be like Hitman style, where it's like, they don't have to have 8 people on the same island. Just add like special target missions.
Yeah. You could do like, 4 targets or whatever.
Or a scenario editor like in Hitman.
Oh, yeah.
That would be really good. Do it.
No,
if you could do like escalations or something, that would be really sweet too.
Deathloop Loop Hero collab. We already talked about it. Right? Maybe they put the Deathloop guy into Loop Hero.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I'm really looking forward to that game now. They've definitely done a stellar job marketing that game.
May 21st. Mm-hmm. It was what was the original date? Was it 2 months earlier? I forget what it was. Maybe it was last year. I don't remember. I remember it got delayed once. That's it.
Yeah, I can't quite remember. But yeah.
All right. Our next thing they talked about, your favorite, fan favorite here. That's a joke. Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'm sure somebody's excited for it. This is definitely an interesting direction. It's not exactly the camera watching game it looks like. I don't know what's going on in that game lore wise. There's stuff happening.
There's so many. Aren't there like 5 of them?
I believe
like
so,
4 yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I believe there's 5.
5 for 5 nights. Nice. All right, we got Solar Ash, which was the Hyperlight Drifter, new game. It's like a platformy type. I don't know. It's pretty much like a platformer, at least from the trailer we saw. This next one, it was the Sifu game, I think it was called. I don't know if you guys have.
I'm trying to remember it.
I think a couple of folks are saying that it reminds them of like the Old Boy fight sequence. I don't know if you guys saw that movie. I'm not really sure about this. Is it a roguelike? You just get older?
That's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, like every time you die, you just get older.
What if you get too old?
You turn into Cap from... spoiler? Is this spoiler? Turn into Cap from Avengers? You just give up?
You have to reinstall. Fresh game save.
Fresh game. Or maybe it's Benjamin Button where you start going the other way. You can hire us anytime. Developer. We got great ideas here.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas here.
Moving on. More of the Knockout City, which we saw surprisingly 2 weeks earlier at the Direct, and then we saw it, on a next-gen console, I guess is the best way to put it. So it's that dodgeball. Is it like a Battle Royale? I think it's Battle Royale.
I have no idea. It looked like Splatoon, kinda. Except you're dodgeballing instead.
Alright, then we got some Crash 4 with a PS5. Then we got Oddworld Soulstorm, which I feel like we've been hearing about for like 2 years now.
I'm just still surprised they're making a new Oddworld game.
And they're giving it for free. The month it comes out, just like Bugsnax. So.
And we know Bugsnax is a
game
generational masterpiece. So
we'll never see something like it again.
Yeah.
So
no Bunger.
Ooh, Tristan, I'm interested if you'll play this game.
I know.
Returnal.
This is
which is Deathloop, pretty much.
This is the only video I watched fully with sound on and tried to take it in. Unfortunately, it was kind of giving me like Evolve vibes. I don't know if it's because it's like the ambience and the environment it's set in. I think it's pretty cool looking, and I guess it's a roguelike, which usually scratches an itch that I have permanently. I'll check it out. How about I leave it there? I'll check it out.
The initial trailers left me wanting more, but the one they did for this one was like, all right, this is more arcadey, right?
Yeah.
It felt like it was more like story driven when we first saw it. I was like, what's going on?
No, it's a roguelike.
This one definitely, this one gave it more arcadey road-like feel to it.
It actually looks very scary.
It kind of does, yeah.
That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'll deal with it.
It'll deal. You'll poop your pants.
Yeah. Some spooks is okay.
This one, which we saw, I think last year, the reveal was Kenna Bridge of Spirits, and we got a longer cinematic trailer.
A DreamWorks movie trailer, basically.
DreamWorks movie, pretty much. I think a lot of people are hyped for this game. I'm hyped for this game. It's one of those games where you're worried that it's, what's the phrase? Like, all bite and no bark or whatever, right? Where it looks very pretty, right? It's well animated, but, like, the gameplay is not there. Which, I mean, there's a place for that. Like, walking simulator games are very, get immersed, but, like, in terms of actual, like, exciting, it's not like an action game, right? It's very...
more of a thinking game, or, philosophical kind of
philosophical, exactly. But I don't think it's going to go that extreme. Definitely not based on what we've seen in the trailer, but it gets you worried that, how is the game actually going to play?
There was some gameplay footage in it. It looked like Knack or Ratchet and Clank or something of
Knack.
that.
Oh, yeah.
3D platformer, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually thought the clips of the gameplay looked decent. So, yeah, I feel better about it now than I did when it was initially shown, which was just kind of as a Pixar film.
Honestly, I sort of backtalked it, but if this thing was literally just not loosely, but not great combat, but just a lot of high quality Pixar movie things split together, I'd still play that probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But August 24th, we got a release date for it, so this summer. And then our last one. What a probably saved the state of play. I don't know about you guys. It's pretty lackluster overall.
I felt it was all right. It was short. I thought it was shorter than it was going to end up being.
I think it was I think they're pulling a Nintendo. My thing with the Nintendo Direct is I feel like they're pulling a lot of their big announcements for their E3, sometime in June. And we'll get to that later because we have some Nintendo stuff to talk about.
They'll release the heavy hitters for the holiday season.
Like usual. Mm-hmm. All right, but the announcement, we had a Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC called Intergrade.
Featuring Yuffie, the Wu-Tai Ninja.
Exclusive to PS5.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So, that's happening.
Yeah, but you at least get a free upgrade of the main game to PS5, and it'll have 60 FPS and stuff.
In camera mode.
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
That was the main stuff.
That's pretty much just performance improvements.
Mm-hmm.
This one caught me off guard. I was like, what's going on? We're getting more Final Fantasy VII. I'm ready. Put me in.
Yeah, I was expecting something like this to happen, where they'd release some sort of DLC content that would probably cover what's going on with other characters. So,
what is it called? The Deep Ground? I heard people talking. Is that what it's called? I don't know.
What?
It's the setting that it takes place in, the spiky-haired guy from Dirge of Cerberus. Isn't the location in Midgard they're in? It's called the Deep Ground or something? I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know my FF7 non-mainline lore.
I don't know the spin-off lore very well. Other than Zack is from Gone Gaga. That's all I remember, because Gone Gaga has a funny name.
But, Tristan, you got time, man.
I'm becoming increasingly embarrassed because not only this, right? Now there's more content that I need to get through.
Uh-huh.
But this game has been out for so long, it's gonna be free for PS Plus next month, I think.
Mm.
And I still haven't gone past chapter 2 or something.
You bought
it. Think about it this way. Wait a little longer, you'll be able to play a quality of life enhanced experience. Where it's smooth as butter.
Yeah.
4K. Beautiful. Extra beautiful, because it was already beautiful. And then faster load times.
Yeah, maybe I can use it as an excuse. I was just waiting for Intergrade the whole time.
You knew it was coming.
He wanted to play Yuffie. Also, the gameplay with Yuffie, it looked amazing.
Oh yeah, she's like a ninja on crack from FF14.
Dude, there was team attacks. I don't know if you saw
this. Yeah, there were a number of team attacks I noticed that going on between her and the new character. I don't remember his name.
Something Kusakabe, whatever.
He's got a bow staff, which is alright with me. I am all about the bow staff. And then, they look great. I loved it. And I think they looked like it. Maybe they were improving the aerial combat, which was one of the major criticisms I think they received for the FF7 remake combat, so that's good.
Is the reason why it's Yuffie is because I heard she's a really popular character in Japan. So
who can we put in? Popular, Nah,
okay.
So other than her, it'd be probably Kate Sith, and I don't think they'd do him right now.
Yep. Save it for later.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
No news about part 2, right?
No news about part 2.
No news about part 2. This is just what is Yuffie up to episode.
Are they gonna do it 13, or it's gonna be 7-2? They're gonna go with that?
Maybe, because they did that for 10-2. Although for 13, they also went with Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 for the third part.
All right.
So they could do anything.
They can do anything. We already have Intergrade, which
makes me think of
calculus at that point.
Retrograde. Yeah. Mercury's in retrograde. That's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Integrals. Derivatives. I don't know.
Yeah, but I believe they also announced that Intergrade's going to be a shorter series. It's going to be like 4 episodes, I think. Or 4 chapters, sorry.
Oh, so it'll be like 4. There's 3 episodes.
No, it's like how many episodes are they putting in?
You don't need to buy that many episodes. It's just 1 episode, but about 4 chapters long.
That's fine. It's like $20, I think, right?
And it's just a small side story for Yuffie, so yeah, perfectly fine.
For now. 10 years from now, there's going to be like 20 pieces of the video game that you're going to have to buy.
20 pieces of the video. Yeah. It's like collecting Horcruxes in Harry Potter.
The Final Fantasy VII Infinity Stones.
To slay Nomura, who's taken the world captive, you have to find all the parts he broke Final Fantasy VII into and beat them all individually.
Assemble the Keyblade.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. That's it for State of Play. Any last comments?
No,
it was pretty good, honestly. They had the developers, I think, kind of present small pieces for some of the games and ran through these in a pretty good, solid pace and showed off what I think they need to show off for games.
I think, some people said it was weak, other than maybe the Final Fantasy. I think it was the perfect announcement to Final Fantasy. I don't think, with the Final Fantasy VII, I think they should save their big heavy hitters, their holidays, for exactly what Nintendo's doing. Save it for E3 if it's coming out on the holiday.
Yeah, and that's the huge thing. When people say it's weak, it's just, I didn't see the thing I wanted to see. So, there's also that factor.
It's like, I haven't seen Advance Wars in 10 years, alright? You can calm down.
Where's our Bug Snacks sequel? Come on, are you even trying?
Bug desserts.
Oh man!
I put in chats Bug Snacks with the 2 stylized as a Z.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah,
I like it.
Okay.
All right. We also had a Pokemon Direct.
Yes.
So we got, what was it? The Diamond Pearl remakes, which everyone knew was coming. So that was already a given. But we got Pokemon Legends. Is it
Arceus?
Arceus.
Arce. Yes. Breath of the Wild Pokemon. It's here.
And it's looking kind of crusty at the moment. That was definitely not the best video they could use.
Did you see that one animation of that thing flying and it was like 5 FPS?
I liked the irony of the trainer going into the tall grass to catch the Pokemon that's just hanging out in the open.
It's true.
It's usually the opposite way around.
Combat roll.
Yeah, that was a reversal of roles right there. Trainer in the tall grass versus the Pokemon just wandering outside.
You know the most surprising thing about this whole trailer? I'm excited to see where it's going to go, but I feel like it's going to be a disappointment. But
don't say that.
No.
It's hard to be confident. I saw
coming early 2022, I was like, no way. This game looks nowhere near ready.
Honestly, the concept of it is fantastic.
Yeah, everybody wants to hear that. Open world Pokemon. What's not to love about that phrase?
It looks like a college student's Unity project for a class. I'm serious.
Yeah, and they forgot to load any shaders.
They obviously reused the Sword and Shield engine, which is probably the biggest mistake.
Yeah, the open fields in that game were atrocious. I don't think anyone can put it more lightly.
I think we've learned just don't reuse engines for Nintendo. Age of Calamity reused the Breath of the Wild engine in that game. Yikes.
Did it really?
I'm pretty sure it did.
Huh.
Tristan does it. I haven't played it, but just from the gameplay I've seen, it looks like they reused the engine.
It runs so much worse than the Breath of the Wild.
I mean, there's so much more stuff going on, right? Breath of the Wild could barely handle what was going on in its game, right? And now you cranked it up to 1,000 for Muso.
Yeah, with whatever Omega Force is throwing in there, yeah.
Random side note, just on how games run, and just because we were talking about it before, Monster Hunter Rise, there's some secret black, voodoo magic that Nintendo is giving Capcom to make that run look so smooth in the trailers.
Yeah, I don't... Even
how can that game look like that and Arceus looks like hot garbage?
Even For You and Generations on 3DS were so good looking and then also ran super well on that hardware. On a normal 3DS. You didn't even need a good 3DS.
Didn't the 3DS have a half a gigahertz, or not even the the processor speed on that thing was like, you couldn't even measure it in gigahertz.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was,
like,
but yeah.
It was like megahertz.
I don't know. I guess I'm just, with Sword and Shield, and then now this Project Arceus thing, I'm just not really that confident in what Game Freak can put out in terms of a good experience, I guess, for a large-scale game that they're trying to throw at us.
I'm like rooting for that this works because I feel
like I don't think anyone wants it to fail.
Yeah, because if it fails, Game Freak's going to be like, fans have been asking for 10 years and we did it and nobody bought it and everyone said it was bad, so we're just going to stick to the normal Pokemon games which sell millions of copies and review, not amazing, but they review like in the 80s and they're fine. And it's like, well, you made a trash game, so if it's trash, right? So I don't know.
Tristan, what are you feeling on it, if anything, right now? Or are you kind of in the same position?
I just watched the trailer again. I'm like severely concerned.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can walk out of that being like, yeah, I'm so ready for an open world Pokemon game.
It's
in
like
1 year.
Everything except the gameplay is very interesting, right? It's like a prequel to Diamond and Pearl, set in Sinnoh. There's like a bunch of cool Pokemon. You get to wear a bunch of cool clothing, which is like the second most important thing in a Pokemon game, in my opinion. And then like you walk into the gameplay and they're walking in this like completely empty field. There's like one Pokemon there.
There's like one patch of grass, bro.
It's like FPS is like stuttering at 12 or something.
Like when I saw the trailer, I was like, at the earliest, this thing's gonna pop up and it's gonna say 2022, right? And I was like, oh, it's probably like, because Pokemon usually releases their games in the fall. I was like, it's probably gonna be a fall 2022 game, which means, they have a year and a half to polish it up. And then it said early 2022. I was like, oh no. Oh no, this thing's already half baked.
Shrug, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I'm sure they'll delay it, right?
If it's doing that bad, then we'll get some news later that might help some things. But
we'll see. Hopefully the next batch of info they push out to us, it'll be much improved. Other than that, I guess Sinnoh remakes, got any feels about those?
I've never played Diamond and Pearl.
Oh my god.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're really good.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
4 and 5 are, in my opinion, probably the best gens ever made.
What about Gen 1?
Well, I mean, Gen 1's alright, but it's got a lot of broken mechanics.
You just said to Pikachu. I just want to say it right now.
Well,
Pikachu's in almost all of the generations, so...
Relative to the newer gens, where everything is a little bit more transparent.
Okay, here we go. We're getting into this now. What makes a newer gen better, or like a gen better than another gen?
Okay. Well, it depends. Actually, should I even go first?
Yes.
Sure.
I think one is linearity of the story, or at least how quote-unquote open it feels. Some games are super linear. Sword and Shield kind of being like that. Sun and Moon was a bit more open. You can kind of go to different places, do your own thing. So I think the exploration aspect is definitely one of them. Gold and Silver did it really well because there's like 2 separate regions you can go to, and it's like, it feels very expansive. 2 is around the choices that you have in terms of training your Pokemon, team composition and stuff, and how you want to grow them. And like, I specifically focus on the quality of life features, because I think from X and Y onwards, it's really easy to see how to EV and IV train your Pokemon, which I do a lot of. And like, in Red and Blue, it's like, you gotta have a notepad beside you and like tally things manually. So.
Alright. Let me say right now, I feel like Tristan's some like 600 IQ right here, pointing at all these aspects, and I'm like 3 IQ, like... I like the Pokemon in this one. That's all I base it on.
I just like the Mankey. But, yeah.
Alex, what is your criteria? Do you have any criteria?
I think a big thing is, of course, the batch of Pokemon, and personally, I like a lot of the Gen 4 and Gen 5 Pokemon that they added, and then also Gen 4 gave some evolutions to some of the Pokemon I really liked from Gen 2. Like, Weavile came out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give me some examples here for if I pick this up. I need to know who I need to be on the lookout for.
So Sneasel can evolve into Weavile. Magneton can evolve into Magnezone. You know, you got Tangrowth, evolving from Tangela. And
You got any favorites?
Yeah, let's hear them. What are your favorites?
From which gen? Or just in general?
We'll do 4 since
let's say Gen 4.
Sinnoh remake.
Let's say
yeah.
Gen 4.
Gen 4.
That's Diamond and Pearl, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or is that okay?
Now I'm.
You know, based on the list that Tristan doesn't even care about the Pokemon.
It's all about the stats, bro.
It's all about the gameplay.
Other than that, I thought Sinnoh was actually a pretty interesting region in terms of the locations it has. You know, it's got all kinds of climates and stuff that you end up going to. Really good music. I love a lot of the Gen 4 music.
Wait, Gen 5 is black and white, right?
Yes.
Okay, because as a kid, I played, Gen 1 and 2, and then Pokemon took a big hiatus from my life until I picked up black and white. Because I didn't pick up a DS until, like, way down the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe Gen 3 was still on Game Boy Advance? I don't remember.
It was, yes.
But I never picked it up, so.
I think my starter lineup had Weavile in it, because he moves... Or he or she
the stats
moves really fast.
Yeah, it has really high base speed.
Yeah, yep. And then whatever Chimchar evolves into, that was like
Infernape.
Yeah,
Tristan, you and I play Pokemon games polar opposite.
I mean, I really care about the end game in Pokemon. I like the battle tower and all the stuff that goes along with it, because it's like everything up until battle tower, you just kind of like. If you grind enough at it, you can beat it, right? Like the story, Elite Four, all that.
Yeah, the way to min-max the old Pokemon games is just to have like 1 or 2 Pokemon, and then you can just zoom through the story by just over-leveling everything.
The way I make my team comp is like, alright, I need someone who has a move in every like type, and then I'm good, and then I just choose the cutest
that's
ones.
The trap, because
and then I just choose the cutest one.
Pre-Gen 6, you have to grind experience at some point then to make them all useful.
Oh, I grind them. I grind.
Nah, I speed run through the story.
God,
it's about the end game. Come on, Albert.
I didn't realize I was such a novice at Pokemon in this podcast.
You asked the question expecting like, oh, this is the cutest Pokemon in Diamond and Pearl.
That's what I thought I would get. I thought that was the majority of how people played Pokemon. I mean, obviously, I take in consideration like types and things like that in terms of just designing a comp, but like that's as far as I take it because that's all you need to beat the game.
Oof.
Oh, and the big thing of the original Gen 4 was that was when they did the physical special split for attacks.
Physical special? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Thunder Punch used to be a special attack no matter what. And then in Gen 4, they made it so it uses physical attacks. So Pokemon like Hitmonchan that have really high attack but really bad special it was a trap to ever use the elemental punches on Hitmonchan.
Gen 4 doesn't have like a weird gimmicky thing, right? I don't know when they started doing that.
No, that was Gen
like
6
the
onward.
Dynamax, Megamax, whatever.
Mega Evolving.
Z moves from
Yeah, the Z moves from Black and Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon. It's hard to keep track of which gimmick comes from which game anymore.
Didn't Gen 5 have something weird? I think it did.
No.
I remember Gen 5 had something weird. Maybe it didn't.
No, it didn't.
No, I think it was starting with
it was Gen 6
X and Y.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
With the stones and stuff.
Yep. X and Y started Mega Evolving, and then they decided to just keep going crazier from there.
Yeah, it's like honestly, it's really bad because it's all just banned from competitive play.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For anybody who cares about competitive, they'll just remove all these things that are really obscenely overpowered.
Hey, but when my Incineroar from Sun and Moon did like Maxilicious Moonsault or whatever it's called, and the 3DS was like dying because it couldn't keep up. It was like 5 FPS. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, we're destroying that guy. Anywho, we shall move on.
Oh, one thing I was seeing some on
we shall stay here. Go ahead.
Yeah, just one extra. how's the art style? People were talking about, do they like the chibi art style or not of the Sinnoh remakes? I think it looks fine.
I love it.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked the Link's Awakening, right? Some people with the Link's Awakening that came out, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, that one was a little far for me, but I could still take it. Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with the Sinnoh remake. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not alone. I have to be validated by compatriots.
Let's be honest, as long as it's cute, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me.
Just
It's like, where's my quality of life?
Just like I don't even care about the art style. Like, feed it to me via terminal. Like, I'll play it like Dwarf Fortress or something.
Wait, I just realized, Tristan. We're the two opposite ends of the Pokemon spectrum in terms of how the Pokemon Company looks at their games. They're like, we sold 7 million copies, and it's like 6 million of people are like, the Pokemon are cute, and that's me, right? And then you're like, they haven't improved on the gameplay. You're like, that crowd. It's like, worst game series ever.
I'm very unrelatable when it comes to actually playing Pokemon, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm almost afraid to look at what competitive tiering is right now for Pokemon in terms of, I guess Sword and Shield would be the current meta tier, or competitive tier.
Who knows?
I can't imagine what it looks like now.
I used to be in a couple servers. I've stopped looking at it because it basically devolved into, do we allow the Mega Dynamaxing or not? And it was just like a headache to deal with.
What was the outcome?
I think they ended up just banning it, but there was like a whole back and forth of like, we should allow it and we can't.
They do massive discussions, yeah.
Hey, I just got reminded, Sword and Shield honestly had what I think is the best story in a Pokemon game. Hot take. I think I put it as part of my review too. I think it's a very cool story. Take?
Do a lot of people think it's not good?
I mean, I just said it was best in the series, so that's probably a hot take.
Is that a high bar to reach?
not particular. I was thinking about it, and most of the time it's just like, kid goes out to become Pokemon champ, eventually runs into criminal organization that escalates to where they're just trying to like destroy the universe as we know it or remake it in their ideal vision or whatever they spout. They start talking in cryptic metaphors at some point as you get further down the gens.
Throw plot twist in there, plot twist or two in there.
I'm your father.
No,
I don't think they've done that yet.
Man.
But yeah. All right. Story is definitely not Pokemon's strong point.
All right, let's keep moving. We're going to talk about dead games. Anthem, you're dead. Artifact, you're
also dead.
Yeah, you're dead. You're dead, Artifact. 2 games with A.
Yeah, I think both of them were probably almost seen coming in a lot of people's eyes.
Well, I mean, I guess Anthem's not, it was potentially debatable for people who played it. It was a, quote, full game on release, right? So, they're just not gonna keep working on it to actually, make it a live service
completely
game.
Stop it as a service, yeah. Well, you'll be able to play it, but not ever getting updates for it.
All right. And so, expanding off of that, we had news from Jason Schreier that said, essentially, with the success of Jedi Fallen Order and the failure of Anthem, EA is going to allow BioWare to make the new Dragon Age game that was originally going to be like a live service game into a traditional single-player RPG.
It's a bold move. EA's basically saying, we've learned from our mistake and going to make changes.
I wonder if EA plays favorites with their studios and how they go into... I've heard EA, behind the scenes, I've seen posts on Reddit of, people who've worked there before that said, they're a very highly data-driven company in terms of where they lead their game design.
Yeah.
Right? And I wonder if they push that harder with some studios and not as hard with, Vince Zampella and crew, right? Because they've pretty much done banger after banger, right? Like Titan Crew, Apex, into Fallen Order.
I feel that is definitely the case, because I think up to Battlefield 5, you could say DICE was kind of their golden boy studio. And then Battlefield 5, they were given a lot of freedom to kind of define Battlefield as they wanted it. And then they saw kind of the outcome of Battlefield 5, and suddenly you hear basically nothing that DICE is ever allowed to do anymore.
True. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's the struggling studios get more, forced handhold, right? Because they're like, we don't really trust you to make a good game because of your recent track record, but market shows that a game of this should sell well, so you're going to make a game no matter how well it fits into how the gameplay is going to be. It needs to be this sort of game, which I almost feel backfires, right? You're trying to help, but you're actually hurting it.
Yeah, you're definitely diverting the creative process, really, by forcing the team in a certain direction they might not be comfortable with.
So I don't know. It's just like, I don't know if there's like, we're not game developers, we're not publishers, but it's just like, what is our like thoughts on the role that a game publisher should have in terms of the way a game is developed in terms of gameplay?
I think the best is if they don't touch the core gameplay at all. Right? And I think maybe how it manifests and where EA gets a lot of flack, rightfully so, is because they basically put their hands in how to make the money. And if they're not going to touch the core gameplay, the only places you do that is like skins and loot boxes and stuff. Or at least that's the easiest way to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Maybe they're doing it right by not... Anthem is definitely a great example of bad leadership, right? Because I don't know if you saw the stories, but like the devs saw what the game looked like at the announcement day trailer thing, which probably not the best.
No. They pulled a Nomura.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much say they had stuff in like Battlefront, for example, but just judging by how the microtransactions worked out, I wonder if they just let the gameplay stuff be handled by the dev studio and then they just came in for the monetization aspect.
It's always interesting when I see, where these market trends go, or, where games are trending with like fads, and how many times we've seen, such and such is doing so well, let's incorporate that into our game. And, live service is, something that's had, more than just like one hit wonders, right? Like you think of Battle Royale, there's like 2 out there, maybe 3 at this point. There's like Apex, PUBG, and, Fortnite, right?
Yep.
And like, you can't even count on your fingers how many failed actual other Battle Royales where they were, but like,
Radical Heights.
Yeah, you'd be like, look how we should make a Battle Royale game because it'll be successful. And it's like, most of the time it doesn't stick, right? So I'm surprised that and I'm surprised Square Enix didn't realize this from what's going on with the Avengers game, which we haven't heard anything about recently.
No, they said they're going to make it free to play.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh no. But yeah, I wonder if studios are like, there have been, very good games that have succeeded with live service, so everyone should make a live service, and then they realize people can only handle so many live service games in their life at once.
Yeah. I agree.
And so maybe they're finally moving away. It's like, all right, unless we know we have a surefire studio working on a game for a franchise that's definitely going to sell already, let's not do live service. At least I hope that's the way they go, because I'm getting tired of it.
I think you need a good core game to do a live service on top of it. You can't, build a game with live service in mind.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of how Monster Hunter was, right? Like, it sold 1 billion copies at the start, right?
Yeah.
But based on how many people were still playing it and how many people kept still buying it, they're like, let's keep doing free title updates, right?
Mm-hmm.
And build this into a live service sort of model, where it's like, you don't go day one, 1 month after release, we'll have the first update for this. Unless you're a game like Monster Hunter, who's actually already doing that.
Yeah, but if you're announcing your launch plan, and part of that announcement has the season pass on it, I feel like
that's always a yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate
you're at
hearing that.
E3 and you're already talking about your battle pass coming out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no. All right. That's all we got. That's all we got for that one. We're going to end with what we've been alluding, or maybe not we, but what I've been alluding to. Some news on our new Nintendo Switch Pro, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, rumor has it, I don't even know if it's rumor at this point, I think it's pretty much confirmed that Nintendo has secured a contract with Samsung to develop OLED panels, 7-inch panels, for what is presumably going to be for the new Switch. And the mass production of this will start as early as this summer. So, I will add on... Oh, go ahead.
Everyone's being too optimistic about this. We all know this is just a peripheral for the existing Nintendo Switch. It's an external screen that you plug into the USB-C at the bottom, just so you can have a bigger screen while you're on the go.
And save battery.
And save battery, yes.
Maybe even give a 3D effect. Reinvent the 3DS.
Oh, man. And if you buy a grip attachment, Tristan, you can have 2 screens.
Yeah, it's actually it comes with the outer frame, right? So it's like an attachment peripheral, and it'll work like a 3DS. So you know how the 3DS had a bigger top screen and a smaller bottom screen? They're recreating that. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So people thought thinner bezels, but no. Actually, same size bezels, bigger screen.
Yeah, you put it into the outer shell, and then you have this huge 3DS.
Okay.
That is why Nintendo said the 3DS is not dead, because this attachment will make it the new 3DS.
What do they call it? What is the name of this?
The new 3DS Pro.
The even newer 3DS. Yeah.
Switch.
Wait, sorry, Alex, what did you say?
The even newer 3DS. I like how we went the same direction for what its naming scheme should be.
Yeah,
it's got to be 2DS though. It doesn't do 3D.
Ah, that's true. Yeah. The newer
2DS.
Yeah, they do newer, newest, and then they're at that point. I don't know what they're gonna do.
some sort of like Microsoft HoloLens stuff where it's just projected.
Maybe they just do a reboot at that time. They just call it the 3DS again, and it's like bracket 2025 or something like that.
The Wii U.
Sorry, I'm like memeing too much.
Let's go into the depths. I'm gonna drop some quick things.
Yep.
First of all, reason we didn't see Breath of the Wild 2, we're gonna get it at E3 this year, and we're gonna get it announcement coming to the new Switch model. Second thing I want to put in here before we go into any further, there was a rumor that the new Switch will have games that exclusively only will run on the new Switch, which people were getting mad at, and I'm just like, you didn't expect this? Like, some game, like, as we've pointed out many times in this podcast, some games don't even run on the normal Switch, right?
Yep.
Oh, well, yeah, not in a really playable state, yeah.
So, and that's one thing where I was like, the Arceus thing, right? You know.
I mean, also, they've done this before with the new 3DS, so it's not like a new paradigm shift for them.
Yeah,
I was going to bring that up. There was maybe like 5 games that were new 3DS exclusive games.
It's going to be very interesting to see if this is true, which I'm assuming it's going to happen, where if they leave it up to, obviously, like, hey, you know, we're Bethesda and we want to publish the new Doom 3, you know, on the Switch, but, you know, the first one could barely run it, so we're gonna make this one exclusive. You know, if they make it so only Nintendo can do that exclusivity thing, or if they're gonna open it up to anyone who publishes a game on the Switch. And I guess something I should have looked up beforehand was if the 3DS, you know, only had first party games.
No, I think it was only first. No. Was it? Did they actually have any third parties do it? Yep. I could only remember first party titles that did it. It was like Fire Emblem, I think a Mario game, and something else.
Minecraft, the 3DS edition, the new 3DS edition.
What about the newer?
Binding of Isaac Rebirth was also an exclusive.
Interesting.
Okay. So I think they will open it up then, if that is the route. I've heard rumors as well that they're doing a Joy-Con redesign to fix the drift issue. So, you know,
that's good.
That's going to cause more interesting problems where if they, I don't know how they're going to redesign it, but if it's anything fundamentally where they're like, your old Joy-Cons won't work with the new Switch, I don't think they'll go that far. That would be a disaster.
That also kind of sucks if you buy the limited Joy-Cons that are coming out soon.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey,
like
you bought
Monster
that new
Hunter
Zelda
stuff,
Joy-Con, and then 6 months later it won't work on your new console.
Or they're just plain inferior to the new console's Joy-Cons. Yeah.
4K rumble.
All the haptic feedbacks.
But
adaptive triggers on Joy-Cons? Oh, man.
That'd be interesting.
I feel like they wouldn't do that because they'd want to save battery life, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of the things they're targeting, like, a lot of people were disappointed with the 720p screen, which I can see. You're now a 7-inch screen instead of is it a 6 or is it a 5.5 inch on this normal Switch? I don't know my console dimensions, but
you don't know your Nintendo specs. Come on.
No, but yeah,
I think it was 5.5. That sounds correct.
So there's a lot of people that are like saying, you know, sometimes I can see the pixels already on my 5.5, and now you're making a 7-inch screen.
6.2.
Oh, 6.2.
A very good number.
That's why I still think it's the new 2DS.
But I don't know. We'll have to see if that 720p is going to make a difference. You know, the OLED screen is a nicer screen as well, but obviously that also helps with the battery life. So who knows? All I know is it's about time that they announce a new one, because yikes.
The system's kind of struggling. It's getting outdated, yeah.
Unless Capcom shares their secrets, no one else can run their games on Switch. That's all we had. That's the end of the episode. Any last thoughts?
Because we're talking about Avengers, I got reminded of this, and I want to call out Crystal Dynamics or Square Enix or whoever's fault this was. Did you see that they made it grindier? Like, you have to grind more XP to level up in the Avengers now. And,
nice.
And their reasoning was people were leveling up too fast and they didn't understand how to use their skill points. So we added this extra padding to slow people down. I read that and I literally went, what the hell?
I'm no gamer designer expert, but I don't think that's the correct way to fix a skill point issue and a player learning problem.
In another hand, I doubt this was a game dev or game designer led decision. This was some business exec who did this decision.
Make them play longer.
Sir, people are leaving our game fast. How do we make them stay longer?
Pump those numbers up.
Pump those numbers up artificially. Mm-hmm. Should we add new content? No.
Just make slow down the content.
Game. Yeah, slow down the game.
The investors are crying. They need something.
I feel so bad for Crystal Dynamics.
That's definitely
we're
a rough
run
situation.
a bet here before we end the episode. I need a month and a year for when we expect an Avengers live service to be no longer in development.
Oh man, I think they've had issues just developing the current live service they promised. I think by the end of the year we're going to hear something.
I need a month. I
was targeting like August.
I say September.
I'm feeling October.
Okay.
Because I think September's one year, because it came out last September. I think they'll give it 1 year, and if it fails, they're going to be like, pull the plug.
I mean, it's on Stadia. How could it go wrong?
True.
It's the only game there. They scared off all the other devs. Good job.
Actually, I think Terraria said they made amends.
Oh,
AKA legal got involved. Is that what you're telling me?
I have no idea. They're like, yeah, it's back on.
Is Twitter not the proper cancellation platform?
Yeah,
for
Donald
contracts.
Trump made it. I thought there was everything there was official.
I don't know. I guess it doesn't. It's not blood binding.
Yeah, I guess not.
All right, I gotta go play Loop Hero, so I gotta end this episode. So that wraps it up for episode 67 of Viewport Relay. Viewport Relay is available on Radio Public, iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, Podbean, and all your favorite podcast directories. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, review, and share it with your friends. We're also on social media as Viewport Gaming on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But Tristan, why Viewport Gaming?
Well, Viewport Relay is part of Viewport Gaming, a website that provides a look into video games through reviews, features, and podcasts, especially because I'm too lazy to port my my bite-sized reviews, which are like basically a book over there. I should really do that.
A 9-course meal of bite-sized.
Yeah, it's a European dinner. Anyways, you can
European dinner size review.
You can find all Viewport content at viewportgaming.com.
Thanks, Tristan. And as always, I've been your host, Albert Corson. Join me, Tristan John.
Goodbye.
And Alex Nestor.
See you next time.